Today's video is going to be on bucket NOCTI. Now I'm going to try and show you this exactly like it would be for NOCTI. So the first thing that you'll do for NOCTI is you will disinfect your work area. Okay, so you'll make sure that that happens. You will have all of your items on a towel like this. You will go ahead and disinfect your hands. Okay, and you're going to part. Now I wanted to show you on this side, when you part these two front sections, I want you to keep them narrow up here and make sure that they're the right size at the bottom, because in one you're going to wrap perm rods and the other you're going to wrap foil. So you're just helping yourself, and it's going to make your job much easier if you part those in a smaller manner. Okay, so we're going to look at this. All right, it says divide the head. We did that. Properly drape. Okay, so I'm going to put my Sanic on. Okay, and then I'm going to put my pretend cape. For the real NOCTI, you will have a cape, but for the purpose of our buckets, it was a little bit easier just to do this and just put a towel in there. So now my person is properly draped. Okay, in quadrant 1. So make sure you realize that this unfolds, this paper that's on your lid. Quadrant 1 would be this one. Okay, 2, 3, 4. In quadrant 1, wrap 5 perm rods, making sure there isn't any space between rods and ends or inside the end wrap, the end paper. Okay. So now, I know you don't have a water bottle unless you have your kit at home with you. Some of you were able to take your kits home with you on the last day. But if you don't, you can just take and you can have a bowl with some water, and you can dip your comb in there and you can wet this. This is the only section that gets wet, so, and it's not very big. Okay, so they want you to wrap 5 perm rods. So we're going to start right here, and we want to make sure that that hair is smooth. We want to make sure that our ends are completely inside the end wrap. They can't be sticking out at all. Okay, and get that end wrap around there smoothly. Don't bend them backwards. Wrap down, across the top, and hook. Okay, number 2. Now, this is all you're going to be doing for hands-on between now and next Friday. Okay, so you'll be doing it today, you'll do it tomorrow, then you'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you're going to be doing this 5 days. Now, why in the world would I want to do this for 5 days? Well, the thing of it is, when you go for your NOCTI, the written NOCTI scores aren't very high. So you have some, it's a little bit easier to pass the written NOCTI. Not the state boards, but the written NOCTI. But the standards for the hands-on are really high. It's either 90 or 92%, I forget which means that you can't forget any of the steps when you're doing NOCTI. And if you practice it, you should get 100% on this. So you need to, at first, practice more slowly and make sure that you are doing it correctly. But as time goes on, you only have 40 minutes to do this entire head. So that means you're going to keep timing yourself, and you want to keep going a little bit faster, a little bit faster, a little bit faster, till you can hit that 40-minute mark. Okay, section number 2, do 3 foils with weaves, do 3 foils with slicing using the green cholesterol. Okay, so I'm going to bend her head down. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. I've got some short hair there. I'll just ignore that. Okay, 3 foils with weaving, 3 foils with slicing. Okay, and the green cholesterol. Okay. So I'm going to take my piece of hair, I'm going to weave it. I'm going to put my foil up in the air, bend it down so I have that little piece in the back. I'm going to get it right up to the scalp. Whoops, I already forgot a step. Does anybody know what step I forgot? What should I have on if I am doing a highlight? I should have gloves on, okay? So you should have gloves in your packing, and you're gonna want to put those on, okay? When you go to take them off, please do not just pull them off and throw them away. They're the only ones you have. If you take your hands with the gloves still on and you wipe them off really good like you're drying your hands, and then carefully pull them off, you can use them over and over again. Okay, so you wipe them off while the gloves are still on, get everything off of there, pull them off, turn them right side out, and you can keep using them. So don't just be throwing them away. You can get a good many uses out of them. Okay, so I took my next piece and I'm going to weave. Okay, I'm going to get my foil, put my foil up in the air, bend down. Okay, right up against the scalp, my green cholesterol. Okay, I want it right up there. Okay, I want a nice, neat folds. I don't want my hair, I don't want it all crinkled up. I wouldn't do it twice, I would just do it once like that. Once you do it the second time, that's when it starts maybe looking a little bit crinkled. Okay, I'm gonna skip. Okay, I'm gonna take this piece, my section right here is a little too wide. All right, so I'm gonna cut that down a little bit. I don't wanna end up with it wider than my foil. So that's something else you need to watch. Even though you're making that front section small, you need the section, the part down here at the bottom wide enough that your foil section doesn't get too wide. So that's the second mistake I made. So you can see that if I was going for NOCTIs, I would definitely need to practice more so that I don't make any of those mistakes. Okay, that's the only way that you can do it. You don't want to just go in there and wing it. Okay, now I need 3 that are sliced. I'm going to skip. Okay, I'm going to pick up half of that. I'm not going to pick up the whole thing because, again, it's too wide. But you want to make sure that you do pick up the whole section when you do it. So make sure it's the appropriate size for foils. Go right in there. Nice thin. You want to be able to see through it. Okay, now how are you going to show me that you spent the time doing this? Okay, you're going to be taking some pictures. Okay, and I'm going to need you to put, since we're going to be doing the same thing over and over again, I don't want you sending me the same pictures every day. So I'm going to ask you to put a piece of paper beside the head, or like clipped onto the head maybe, like up here, that has today's date on it, and send me a picture of you doing your foil, one picture of you doing your perm wrap, okay? And then when you're all done, I want one picture with everything pulled out of the head with that date on it. Okay, I know that sounds extreme, but that's how I know that you did it. You took it down, okay? Then the next day, you start out with a plain head again, and you do it again. Okay, we're in uncharted territory here, guys, so there's certain things that we're gonna have to do that are a little bit different. So just a little scrap of paper with today's date on it. clip it on there. Let me see you doing each move. Let me see you with the finished, with the everything removed and the head wet, I'm going to say, so everything's shampooed out. Okay, then the next day, I'm going to need to see it again. Okay, so please don't try to take advantage of this and do shortcuts, guys. This is something you can see even I need to practice. So this isn't something that you want to just be like, oh, I'm going to figure out how to cheat the system. That's not the point here. In quadrant 3, outline the quadrant with cholesterol and then apply a tint retouch, applying from scalp out 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're just doing a tint retouch. Okay, so I have green cholesterol on here. I'm going to wipe this off the best that I can. Okay, when you do NOCTI for real, you will have 3 brushes, but for today, we're just going to make do. I believe you might have more than 1 brush, but some of you might only have 1. Okay, so this section, we're going to outline. Okay, so you just go around, you come out 1/2 inch, go around the whole section. Okay, you're trying not to get it onto the other sections. Okay, and you make sure you get the bottom, which my bottom, again, is very, very, very short. Okay, but you go the whole way around the section. Okay, then you take your partings from here and you apply it this way and this way. And you can see I'm being kind of generous. So this would make a good photograph. You can definitely see where the cholesterol is and where it isn't. All right. The cool thing about NOCTIs is it helps get you ready for both state boards and real life. Okay, so it forces you, this part forces you to work quickly because on many of these skills you don't have much time. So we can keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and you'll get better and better at your skills, plus you'll increase your time. The getting ready for the theory portion of it is great because it helps prep you for state boards as well. So there's no downside to practicing for NOCTI. All right, in this section, again, I would have gloves on, okay? If your gloves rip, you're just gonna have to, maybe when you send the picture, say, I know I don't have gloves on, but this happened, and I know that I should have gloves on. Okay, so I'm gonna be evaluating how you hit all of these standards. Disinfection, sanitizing your hands, wearing the gloves, and how your sections look. If you did the procedures correctly. If you do, backing up to the foils, if you would not skip hair in between your foils, you would not get credit for that. Okay, so they want to see you skip hair, and when I do tint for real, this is exactly how I apply it. I apply it to the underneath and I apply it to this side. That way you don't end up with any spots where things were missed. Okay, so just like that. Okay, now we're in this really short stuff. So we're just gonna do this the best we can and get this all covered. Just kind of go a couple different directions. Okay, pull that back down. Okay, that's your tint retouch. Okay, now we're ready for, now if you had a towel and this did get over here on here, I would just wipe it off like this as soon as you see it getting on the next section. Okay, show them that you understand that. Now we're ready for the last quadrant, and that is A virgin relaxer starting at the nape and working to the top of the section, applying just like a virgin lightener. In other words, stay 1/2 inch from the scalp and 1/2 inch from the ends, applying to the mid shaft only. Take very thin sections, red cholesterol. Okay, so on this one, we're going to switch our brush out. Okay, so I did that whole section, and that's how much cholesterol I have left. So you can see you're going to be able to get lots and lots of times out of these bowls. This is how much green cholesterol I used. All right. So when you're picking up the cholesterol, you don't need to dig out big hunks of cholesterol and use it all up. It's more of like a dabbing motion to get that. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom down here, thin sections. Okay, so you're going to spend more time pinning than you are anything else. So you apply to the top, you come down to the ends, you apply to the underneath. Make sure that's covered very well. Let that drop and take your next piece. Okay. The beauty behind this is you're not flipping these up onto the other sections, and you're attempting to straighten the hair. So the more you can hold it straight like this, and you want to keep it consistent. So that's why I'm starting at the bottom and working up. I can just let that hair hang. You can see how thin the sections are. Nothing thick. You want to show them that you got it on every bit of that hair. Okay, next one. Nice and thin. Okay, I'm just dabbing again to pick up the cholesterol. I'm not scooping it all. I'm just sticking the brush in like this. And I'm just dabbing. Okay, next one. Okay, so again, you want to get this done in 40 minutes, but you don't want to forget anything. So you can't forget to go on both sides. This would be similar to putting a lightener on. You want to make sure that both of them are very thick, and you don't want to miss any hair. Okay, I'm almost getting done here. You want to make sure you have time for this one. You don't want to be running out of time just because you are taking such thin pieces. Okay, I'm going to bend her towards me a little bit, make it easier on my back. I'm still just dabbing. Okay, underneath. Okay, if you can keep it consistent like that, and when you take your picture, show me that you have a nice line like that. You have enough cholesterol on that I can see where you applied it and where you didn't, that it just doesn't look wet looking, but yet you're not using an excessive amount. And like I said, if you run out of this, anything thick, mayonnaise would be my last choice, just because your mannequin's going to stink. But if that's all you have, that's all you have. If you have any thick white conditioner, that will work. Anything you can think of. So we're going to figure out this bucket thing. We're all brand new at it. And the next one I'm going to be sending home with you is going to have the facials in it. And it will have the new paper. And I will probably send that new paper out to each of you via email on Tuesday, because at that point you should be done with all of your assignments on the paper that you have currently and be ready to move on. Okay, so use your time wisely. It doesn't take that long. I built things in like the little short videos that you can zoom through. You can get probably all the videos from 11.6, I believe it is, up to 11.12 or something done in one day because they're so short. So I wasn't trying to kill you, but you still have to do the work. It takes both of us to get this done and accomplished. All right? And I feel like we're ready because we've been practicing this literally since the first day of school. So there is my finished NOCTI head for the chemical services. So we covered perming, foils, okay, a tint retouch, and a first-time relaxer, virgin relaxer. Okay, there are also manicuring, blow drying and curling and straightening, and a haircut in NOCTI. This is just one part of it. All right, good luck.